we say good morning again to you. Oh, there we are. You are on the air. So anybody who's floating around on Facebook and other social media can see us hard at work on Rouser Radio. So we've actually looked now at the front pages of the newspapers. It is 7:45 at the 22nd of June, yes, the 6th, in the year 2022. And we are Rouser Radio, broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel. Wonderful people here. You get a great big grin from the ladies. This morning it's Shannon, and she's brought me my coffee. I mustn't forget to drink my coffee. I love coffee. I love tea. Ah, la la la, la for me. I can't remember the exact words of that. But, that was a favourite. Is many years ago. Many years ago, I may say. It's funny how things come back to you, which shouldn't really. But I can remember being at university in British Columbia, the University of British Columbia, a very fine university it is today. In those days, it wasn't quite as well known. Well, it took me. And one of my friends was a guy called Bunny Gilchrist, and that was his favourite song. I love coffee, I love tea. Why would I remember that? I have no idea, but mainly because I think I'm going to have my cup of coffee. And oh, very welcome it is too. Very, very welcome. Yes, it's like that ad for Bisto, where the aroma of Bisto floats across the room, and Betty Bisto, or whatever her name is, Betty Bisto, she smells it. Bisto. I haven't seen that one for a long time, but it was very popular in its day. Right, where are we? We're at 7:48. Perhaps back something to look at that. At 7:48 on Wednesday morning, and outside it is going to reach the official version is about 24, but Shannon tells me that her, not from her knowledge, we're going to reach 26 or 27 as the day goes by, and the breeze is only very light. So that's where we stand with that. I've just been through the newspaper front pages, but let's just take a quick look at the back pages. Stokes, our English captain, is unwell, and he misses practice. And now Root is willing to step in, but Stokes has led the team to a series win, and he's got us really fired up after it's being absolutely battered from pillar to post. Now, apparently, Rudicano, the lady who is our great hope, and she had a panic attack at Wimbledon. But now it says Murray is a serious contender to win his third title. Wow. It's yes. I mean, she is young. Emma, I think, isn't it? Emma Raducanu. And you know, the pressure must be intolerable. Here she was, 654th or something in the world, and she won the American Open or whatever it was that she won. And suddenly, of course, she's right in the spotlight, and the expectations are actually enormous. And I'm a little bit surprised that she's having panic attacks. Let her alone for a little while. Giving Eddie the keys to Twickenham holds England back in so many ways. Oh dear, 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 dear. Clive Woodward is having a go at Eddie Jones, and he has never been a great fan of Jones. But Danny Kerr, who was dropped, is now back in the frame, and so it would seem that that there is a lot of controversy in the rugby world and down at Twickenham. Spicy sibling rivalry firing the Overtons. They could be the first twins to play a test for England, but there have been bumps and bruises along the way. Well, that's interesting. Backdrum of Bile as Headingley plays host. The joy of six. Liam loves battle with Butler. Hit most maximums. And Essex back in hot water over Chiefs back with a fan. Right. And England stars still right to be in prison, says who is it that was in prison? Alan Stanford's his $20 million showdown that shamed cricket. Don't remember that much, so I kind of shamed it that much. But anyway, I'd drink so much I'd black out. Next morning, I'd ride out still drunk. That's champion jockey Ocean Murphy, tagged as racing's bad boy. It doesn't matter. He's sitting at the top of the riders list. So does he care? No, not a bit of it. Let's see. Chelsea duo to miss out on millions. Page in line for long-term deal. Maguire said to stay, but could lose captaincy. It's all good gossip stuff. Most of it not true. But then football and rumour have always gone hand in hand. Okay, as millions of ordinary Britons suffer in the rail strike mayhem, 25 left-wing MPs defy their party by joining the picket lines. And where was Sir Keir? Hiding away all day like a coward. That's what the Daily Mail says. And they ain't happy with Labour in Labour's stance so far in this dispute. And it looks as if it's going to be a dispute too, because the union is saying they're going to hang on until they get what they want, and Boris is saying over my dead body, and they'll have to go over it, which means some sort of war of attrition. So it could be that trains are going to be a miserable way to travel for quite some months to come. Trying to get around anyway is a nightmare. It really is. The metro, ghost train in Britain. It shows that the trains are just one or two people catching the train, and only one or two trains turning up to be caught. But the metro does actually go on to gold age pensions, and what it's saying is that the government is now going to honour its triple lock system, and that is that since the criteria have been met, that they will honour their pledge to raise pensions for the elderly. No, I can't say that I'm against that, because I would be a beneficiary of it. But it ain't half going to cost a lot of money again. And one of the things that this government is doing is it's splashing the cash. And is it right to do so? Is it right, presumably on the belief that if it can keep the economy going, is the taxes and other revenue coming in from economic activity will outdo what's happening at the moment, and that they'll be okay. It's difficult to say, difficult to tell. Anyway, those are the headlines and the front pages. What shall we do now? We shall, because it's our duty to do so. There's my favourite about a party. Something. Let's see. A kind of a party by the Mini Vandals. That's one of my favourites. Let's play that. We are kind of a party from the Mini Vandals, and our long-suffering colleague Max Hurd has arrived, ready to take over at 8:30. How are you, Max?
Good. I'm quite early today.
Yes, you are indeed. You can settle down, get yourself dug in, ready to take over. Bang on 8:30. Bang on 8:30.
I'll be back in a moment.
Right, yeah. Good lad he is. Good lad he is indeed. And I expect the old curmudgeon will be here in a moment. Stuart Dolby. And I know that Stuart was trying to dig up somebody who really understood what the problems are as far as the energy crisis is concerned to chat and explain to us. So if he had success there, then an interesting morning in view. So there you are. Anybody who is interested, if you want to see what it's like in our little radio studio, you can tap into Facebook and radio television. And there we are, broadcasting sound, though, not pictures. That is very good. The first taste of coffee in the morning, you cannot actually replicate it. It is fantastic. Really fantastic. I went down into the precinct yesterday. It's quite busy. I suppose because it's hot, people are out taking advantage of the sun. But there's a fruiterer who sets up his stall down there about 3 times a week. I don't know what the fruiterer is called, but the man in charge of it is Dan, and dear old Dan is a super bloke, and he with a great deal of humour and kindness and so on as he dishes out his fruit and veg, wraps it up into a brown paper bag, hands it over, takes the coins, and there we are with a nice bit of fruit or whatever, or vegetables to take away. It's a nice feature. And there's a lot of controversy down there at one stage because the local council, of course, they're not in Lewis now, and we all bemoan the fact, oh, there's nobody in Lewis. But what happens is that now you don't get the pettifogging of, oh, you can't have your stall there because it violates 2 inches across from where it should be and all the rest of it. They can't be bothered. In fact, most of the people of the local council who are supposedly Lewis district have no idea almost where Lewis is, certainly what it is and what it does. So we get away with a lot more, I think, than we used to. Long may they be somewhere else. The only thing is that their tentacles are enormous because they use these computers. Boo to computers. We don't like computers, do we, Max?
Speak for yourself.
Oh, there you go. You see, the voice of youth. He's perfectly happy to talk to a computer which can't talk back. Right? I prefer somebody who is willing to get into an argument with me. Jaw. Anyway, I have no say this morning because Max hosts the show in, let's see, in 28 minutes. You'll have Max ready to steer you through a morning of fun and games and look at everything that's going on. And he's a good chap, and we have to say, Max had absolutely no experience of real television when he came to us about 3 months ago. 3 months ago, Max?
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months ago.
4.
And he has learned an awful lot, and he's done an awful lot. And there are a couple of his TV compositions, features that we have and we've shown and we continue to show, and they are very, very competent for the start of his career. So we wish Max all the best, and we actually hope you stay with us because we need good people on this program. And bit by bit, our team is really forming. We have Suzanne Mucho out of New York, who is an architect. In fact, she is the head of an architectural university in New York City, and she is fascinating. She joins us on a Monday. On a Tuesday, we have Fergus Wood, who is the wine expert, and I had a fascinating half hour or so with Fergus yesterday, and he took us through particularly the thing that everybody's getting excited about, and that is that Sussex wines have protected status. Now, you cannot call anything a Sussex wine if it ain't a Sussex wine. It must be brewed here or grown here, distilled here. That's what we do with wine. But anyway, the wine must come from a vineyard within the East and West Sussex, and it must be must live to certain standards that the authorities lay out for you to operate. So that's sort of an exciting and interesting thing. Why did I start to tell you that? Mainly, I suppose, because my mind goes far ahead, and I'm thinking it may be 8 o'clock now, but at 11 o'clock, 11:30, I'm allowed my first little glass of wine of the day. And actually, I have to say, I really have to say, my first glass of the day is normally my last glass of the day. This heat does not make me want to drink a lot. And age is also pulling at the strings and saying you don't want quite as much as you used to have. Believe me, I've been amongst the world's great drinkers and smokers and everything else, and managed to turn to the straight and narrow. All right. Now, because this is all about listening and so on. Let's go for Breeze, shall we? Breeze by the Telecasteds. Telecasted with Breeze. Here we go. Oh, breeze, breeze, breeze. Now, I'm not so sure whether you got that last bit of superb repartee because I didn't switch the microphone on. That happens all the time, I'm afraid. It's a bit early in the morning, and you forget these things sometimes. And if you think I've got my mouth full, I have. I'm eating the last bit of my biscuit, which comes with my cup of coffee. The lovely Sharon brings me coffee, and she brings me a biscuit. And it's a lovely way to meet the day. Anyway, that was Breeze from Telecasted. Some of this stuff is not bad, actually. What do you think of it? Yes, right, okay. Thank you for your approval. A crowd outside, hammering at the door just to get in, just to have a cheery wave from me as like hell. If you really want to know about the loneliness of the long distance runner, try the loneliness of the good morning DJ, particularly on a little radio station that is only just beginning to make its mark. Believe me, loneliness can be a really bad scene. All right, we're almost at the end of our little toggle this morning. It is 10 minutes past 8, and the date is the 22nd. The day is Wednesday. I'm not pulling any demanios at all and getting it wrong. I'm getting it absolutely right. We go to our television service in a few minutes with Max Hurd and Stuart Downey. Stuart Dolby. Oh, Domanio, you are, God bless you, you're still in my spirit. For those who don't know who Jack Domanio was, he was a 1960s, 1970s DJ for the BBC, and he got everything wrong. He always got everything wrong. He gave the wrong time, the wrong day, the wrong temperature, absolutely everything. And nobody to this day knows whether he did it deliberately or it was one of those poor unfortunates that kept on making mistakes. But he was loved for it. It's Jack Domanio, may he rest in peace. In fact, I don't know whether he's still alive. My guess is not. But he certainly made his mark in those golden days of yesteryear, when radio was radio and not just a filler the way that we're using it today. All right, the train strike is hitting hard. The strange thing is that the buses are full. The roads have got more cars on it. When you come out first thing in the morning, and you get used to what's happening, and then suddenly it all alters, and there is a driver, is the driver of what's happening at the moment with cars and people and so on, is the rail strike, pure and simple. It is pushing people into doing things in a very different way. Okay, it's almost time for us to say toodle pip. But just a reminder that it is going to be very hot today. If you are going out and having picnics and so on, make sure that you've got plenty of cover. Make sure you've got plenty of cream, this cream that you rub on yourself, that in theory is supposed to keep you from burning. I don't know that it always works, so be careful about that as well. And I'm not sure that we may not fry ourselves in the effort. Just to finish what I was saying, Suzanne Mouchot joins me on a Monday. On a Tuesday, it's Fergus Wood with wine. On a Wednesday, we have Max and Stuart, and they do their own thing, but mostly it is energy and a view from an 18-year-old, a 17, 18-year-old. And that's very important that we get that in the mix, so we know what young people are thinking about what's happening in the world. Then on Thursday, we have Jane Watkins from Hastings, and she joins me and keeps us up to date what's happening in the extremities of the county. Oh, I've got hiccups again. And then on Friday, we are just negotiating, and I think that Max has probably been talking to her, is Sarah Fitch Hayes, our artist, who is really, she's extremely talented artist, but she's good fun. She is funny and lively and very great pleasure to have on. He's here. He's here.
Right, what you going to say? The old boy here.
He could say something else.
He says, it's the old boy. I said, well, it's your wheelchair out there, isn't it?
Well, I have to say that yesterday I was actually looking at, I was flipping through the internet for something, and I came across this. You can get a motorized scooter for next to nothing. And of course, when I tapped into it, is next to nothing is nowhere to be found. They tell you how many thousands of pounds these motorized scooters. I shall continue to try and walk. Oh dear! It's 8:15. Time for us to wrap up.
No, we've got two.
Give the boys time to establish themselves, and she gets better with time. Somebody on on Twitter has said. Whether they mean us or not, I have no idea. I do not understand these things.
No.
Never mind. Here we go with what we normally have is burn somebody to say cheerio. And cheerio until tomorrow morning from Rouser Radio. And I leave you soon in the tender hands, God help you, of Max and Stuart.
You should be so lucky, you old fool. Anyway, look, one or two things today.
Hang on, we have to play ourselves out on this, and then we can talk. Right, yeah. Just one thing, Stuart. A couple of comments that we didn't get you on camera when you were making, and apparently a voice off in the distance irritates people. So will you make sure, Max, will you make sure whenever Stuart is here, you've got him on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was last week. Last week you were sitting behind.
Oh, look, God, he's dressed as if he's going on safari.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Brighton, that's a safari.
Yeah.
Jesus, I've never seen so many people in my life.
Was it busy?
Never go to Brighton on a Saturday when the sun is shining.
I gotta go to Brighton once, 3 times every week. It's horrible. I just went to Brighton this morning, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, that must be nice in there in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I got here before 8, actually.
Is that laptop any good?
I don't have a charger for it. I thought I did, but it's a different name.
No, two things, right?
We'll have to look around.
Did you get my email about Bob's film?
Your email? No, I got a message. I did find it. I sent myself the link to it. I had the link, but there was an issue with it. I couldn't download it and cut it up into clips.
Right.
Because if the BFI player allowed me to download things, they wouldn't make any money.
Right.
So I couldn't download it, and I was kind of stuck.
Yeah, but it's easy to read, isn't it? I mean,
Well,
I like to have a quick squiz at it now, actually, because I had a meeting with him on Monday.
Mm.
God,
Is he coming in today, do you know?
Oh, no, he's not coming in. We have to send him an email.
Oh, okay.
With the link, don't we, Keith? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
very
is
easy. You know how to do it, don't you?
Yeah, is he on today?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do that for the second segment.
No, 10:30, I said. 10:30.
Oh, yeah, so we go from...
Well,
Yeah,
it was all a bit energy matters. That'll be our
That'll be your 2 topics.
for the day, yeah.
Okay. So we'll do the first show. That'll be
Okay,
the
so you're doing it off this
news
computer?
stories. Yeah.
All right.
Right, now, secondly, my daughter, one of my many daughters, has actually bought me this. I'll get it for you.
I had to get the bus here this morning. Keith. I had to get the bus here this morning, but I had to go from Cookfield to Brighton, Brighton to Lewis. I left the house this morning at 5:45 to get the bus. I had to get the 6:07 bus, and I only got here for 8. It
Yeah.
took me 2 hours to get here by
Yeah.
bus.
Well, bring that up. These are the sort of things that people are interested in. Is that's your experience of travel on a day that there are no trains, you know? Yeah. I mean, imagine this as one great big grab bag. Anything that you come across, that's why I say, to people, if I see them, come on in, because you never know what we're going to do. And it's beginning to work very nicely. Incidentally, I went to half a dozen stores in the precinct on Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. And I said, look, come and tell us what you do, what your store is, support the high street and so on. It's interesting. 3 or 4 were ho-hum. 3 or 4 were, oh, that's very nice, thank you. But 3 or 4 were quite enthusiastic. So I'm going to continue up the high street and go and say to people, drop in. So keep an eye open for people that come through the door. If they're looking a bit lost. Where's the
2 hours on the bus it takes me to get here. That was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you know, tell people of your experience. It's exactly the sort of thing that.
2 hours on the bus, but an 18-minute train journey.
Yeah.
I think it's the 127 bus.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Where does that? Because that goes to Landport. Where can I get the bus from? Does it stop out here?
It does. It stops. It comes round. It goes up Station Road. Right. But it goes right round the houses. We get it. We catch it when we're in Tesco's because it comes. It goes right round morning and God knows where else. Right. And then it comes down here, and it goes off to round to Waitrose. Yeah. Comes across the Phoenix Causeway, goes across the Waitrose, comes along Friars Walk, up Station Road, and across into what was it called? Fisher Street. And that's bus there, but it's very, very difficult to see. It's just on the left. So it's just literally up there. Right? Where, you see where the lights are, right?
Yeah.
You go left up there.
Okay.
And you go across there and up there. But they're very, very rare buses.
So if I get that one, that will take me to Landport?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. But you can get it at Waitrose.
Yeah.
You see what it does is it goes around.
I'll have a look at times.
It goes around Morley, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it comes down, we pick it up at Tesco's, it goes across the Phoenix Causeway, turns left towards Waitrose,
I'm still listening.
and then it goes round and to what's it? And Waitrose goes across, goes down Friars Walk, turns right at the Lansdowne, goes up Station Road, crosses over, and it's on the left. And then it goes round to you could have walked it. Could much quicker.
Yeah. I don't know my way to Landport.
I mean, you know, these old bus passes we get, you can go from Land's End to St John of Road. It would take you a year and a half to do it. Like, we wanted to go to Arundel, we weren't doing. And the bus does almost every little town in West Sussex before it gets to Arundel. It goes right round, you know, these buses. Anyway, look, can we have a quick quiz of this thing before we start?
Yeah, sure.
I've got to find it on my phone.
What's his email?
It's HTTPS, isn't it? BFI player.
Yeah.
And then you search for it.
Oh, yeah, no, I've already got the link.
Have you?
Yeah, I can get that right now.
Can you get up? Or just to
My
get what? Just trying to
phone.
get a taste for it.
Have you seen any of it?
No, just told me about it. Really.
I've seen a lot of it. It was made in 1983, 1986, I
Is
think.
it?
Came out in, because it was based on 1984 and
That's
1985.
cool. See, what is very interesting about this is last June, the wind didn't blow, and Boris asked Drax, which is a huge power station in Yorkshire, if it would turn the coal plants on. Right? You understand? Right? In fact, they had 6 plants, right, at one stage, and 4 of them have been tried to transformed into wood pellets. Now, the wood pellets are made in America, Louisiana, in America. So they have effectively a huge carbon just getting there. Okay? When they are getting here, the wood pellets are fossil fuels for all intents and purposes. They said they wanted to go environmental. So it's all a bit of a alarm. So we thought about all this in.
Yeah. I don't know if you have time to look over this because it's 42 minutes long.
What is it? The film?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go in there and watch you from there. You're able to use your mobile, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see headlines.
Max,
Isn't
when,
it?
if we finish about 11 o'clock today, right?
Yeah.
I want you to help me out, sort this out. My daughter brought me this. Oh, what's it?
Oh yes, that shouldn't be too bad.
So is that my
Wait, what is
phone? Is that my phone over there? And this is the
Yeah.
one you actually do things with it.
Actually, strangely enough, I want you to help me out with a new little phone too.
Well, who the hell? What? I mean, look at these. Do not.
What does it mean?
That's someone's. It's saying, please do not use this as a stripper pole.
Stripper pole?
Please do not use this in the shower. Please do not use this in that. Please do not use this to hang clothes on. Please do not use it to put tennis with.
You can do selfie movies, can't you?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I can look. The thing was, we wanted to do a little.
Okay, chaps, it's 8:26. Time for you to take control. I shall be next door. be great.